Today, I'm going to make an executive decision. Welcome back to the channel. I just showed in my last video how to fold and game at the same time. I've got some criticisms, people saying that, yeah, you can do it on one if the game isn't demanding enough. It's like, well, yeah, I get that. And then another guy on the Linus Tech Tips forum criticized me. He says, well, for some people, this is a bit misleading. Well, yeah, yes and no. I never stated that you need one GPU. No, I straight up say you need two. So then I thought, if I have two GPUs in, what I didn't show was how many points per day I can get. Today, I'm going to make an executive decision, and I'm going to start folding on two cards. I've done it before, but this time, I think I'm going to make it permanent. I have the 660. I think that's going in the living room. We haven't really gamed on that machine, in a long time, so it's mostly the little pink computer. So I think I'll take the 970 permanently. Let's get that thing back in here and see how many points per day we can get, temps and all that stuff. It'll be kind of fun.
One eternity later.
So that didn't work. The 660 would not boot in the pink computer. Worried about that because I know this card works. Let's put the 660 in the Shambler and just run in this. Less points per day, but I have a plan. And I'll have to get back to you on that one. A little surprise plan. We'll get to that later. Let's put this thing in and see what we can do. Alright, we'll open up GPU-Z. Alright, so we got our 1080 right there. So yeah, I think my 660 is dead. I was literally just using this thing 2-3 weeks ago, and it was fine. I don't know what happened, so no more 660. The good thing is, about a week ago, I go to work. My friend who gave me the C70, he's had something he's been wanting to sell me. So I took the 660 out because it's dead. For $60, I got a GTX 780. VGA, super clocked. It weighs about a half a ton. So we're going to use this card to do my test. It should get around the same points per day. It's always a good thing. It's going to use more power and it's going to be considerably hotter. So in that last video, the 1080 did start downclocking because of the heat generated from the 970, and both cards working at almost 100%. And I can't put this fan, a 200mm BitPhoenix fan, can't use that because it won't fit because of the Noctua cooler. I can still set it on top of the case and, it just looks butt ugly, but hey, that works. So now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the 780 in. We're going to do a couple more tests. We're going to just do complete points per day. We'll get some ideas of how much power is being drawn from both cards at the same time. Let's get this thing installed. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. Will we die from heat? The sheer power of... Never mind, just start the computer. Really, Microsoft? It's Saturday. It's not Tuesday. What do we possibly need that we don't already have? This is stupid. Alright. Got the GPU in. It actually shows up. So we have our 1080. I click this, and now we can see 780. First thing I'm going to do is show how many points per day we can get with both cards combined, because we have about 13 or 14 teraflops of performance right here, faster than some supercomputers from like the 90s, which is kind of cool. So let's see what we can do with folding real quick. So first things first, this is like the 8th thing, but we're going to launch folding at home. Go back to advanced control so we can see everything that we got. So it's actually loaded in the 780 first. What? What do you want? What do you want? Am I forgetting something? What's the matter? So, slots. Add a slot, GPU, we're going to let it find the card. There it is right there, GTX 1080. Each GPU is going to eat up one CPU core a piece, so if you have one GPU, it's going to eat one CPU core. Two, obviously two, four. AMD doesn't seem to have that problem with their implementation of OpenCL, so if you're folding on an AMD card, you're not going to experience that problem. You may actually see better performance CPU wise while you're online or doing whatever. So that would take into account when I did folding and gaming at the same time. You could use just a single, like a 4-core CPU and not worry about all your cores being eaten up by the 2 GPUs. Let's see what our temps are. So right now we're sitting at 154 and 155. We will switch that over to Celsius, which gives us 69 and 65. I just looked at the microphone like it was the camera. So we're at 70C and 66C. And I stuck this here to vent out all the excess heat that I know that the 780 is going to be providing. Something with the GPU architecture, the like Fermi and Kepler, they hit 99% easily, so it's all folding at home implementation of the drivers and the actual hardware. So for whatever reason, the 10 series have never seen hit 99% solid, unless I was doing something like Prime Grid or something and tried to melt the universe with my PC. So you can hear the fans ramping up. All the other fans in the case are set to the lowest setting. All the Noctuas are as low as they're going to go. The ones on the actual cooler are set up with the RPM limiters. You won't be hearing any of those. You might hear the big BitPhoenix fan, but this is what it sounds like. Kind of a low drone, kind of like my voice. So the 1080 has officially reached 78C. Well, not surprisingly, but surprisingly, the EVGA card has only hit 74. So 1080 has not started downclocking yet. Still at 1974. Not a real big downclock like it did the other day with the going down to 1800. I'm going to turn up my front fans. So there, I cranked up the 2 front fans, the intake fans, 2 140mm Noctua fans, push a lot of air. Hitting 80C, 75C, so we're getting kind of warm. I don't know how to read in C, so I have to change this, I'm sorry. Blame public schools. So for the uninitiated, 176, 167. And being dyslexic sucks, because when you read something like that, you don't know what's going on. Yoish. Look at our points per day. Kind of low, but you know, we've only been going for a few minutes here. Currently we're on the 780 right here, so it's going to take about 5 hours and 31 minutes, 61,000 credits. We're running an estimated 262,225, base credits 11,000, time per frame, 3 minutes 24 seconds. But it just started, so that's why this still has not kind of equalized. Because if we go to 1080, it's only going to take 3 hours and 12 minutes. That's running at 575,000. It hasn't quite ramped up to the full points per day that it's going to be achieving, which should be about 800,000. This guy would only ever reach about 60. So that kind of shows you generational gaps there. So I'm going to get back to you as soon as this thing goes over 1 million, because I know it's going to. We are starting to climb a bit. 864,000, which by itself isn't very high, especially for the 1080. 1080 can do this by itself depending on what project it's working on, what type of work unit. Right now it's only getting, well, it raised up to 611,000, which means we're still rising here. Not quite there yet. I want to see that million. Also, I gotta give a shout out to a couple people. Oystein18 for joining my team. You've provided 54 million points. So that's pretty cool. And Interior Bangies with the average of 42,000 points a day. You've also provided 2.6 million. So that's also really cool. I appreciate it because nobody else has ever joined my team. So, and all these other team members on here are all old computers or family members and stuff like that. So they haven't produced any points lately. One of them was literally just actually two of them were literally just misspells, and you can't delete them from your folding team, so they're there. So yeah, thank you guys. We're currently at 367th overall team. Now that I have this 780, regardless of the heat and the power usage, I'm hoping that changes our points per day by a little bit. Having 1 million a day will raise it up a little bit, so that's cool. So special thanks to those guys. And if anybody else does want to join the team, you're welcome to. It's perfectly free, drama free, all that kind of stuff. All you got to do, you just punch in the team name, numbers, and you start folding, and then our rank starts climbing. But like I said, I really would like to hit 1 billion points. I think that's going to take a little longer than I would like, but that's what having this second card does. And like I said, if Gigabyte or anybody wants to send some cards, they literally will only be used for folding, and that's it. I'll take the power bill, all that. New CPU, AMD, looking at you. Yeah, this is getting pretty cool. So as one would expect, I start loading on my footage that I've captured. I hit 1 million points. So 1,046,861 points per day. Like, this is the first time I've ever seen this computer actually go over 1 million. Get a little screenshot of that. So that's cool. That's a milestone for me. Never been over 1 million points per day on one machine. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you think it's stupid and whatever, and you don't like fighting cancer, give it a dislike and all that. Support Bitwit in his fight against The Verge. I know his issue with them has been cleared up, and he got his video back and all that, which never left float plane, by the way. That's pretty good. You upload and it's there, and they can't touch that version of it. So check out my little sister's channel. She makes some badass animations, and all hand drawn with paint. She does all the voices with this microphone, thus the having flamingos on it. Loves them. So check her out, Rose Lightning. And yeah, so I'll catch you on the next video. See you.